Nonetheless, next up, friends and relatives, we're going to give the microphone here to Henry Quickbear, Senior Cultural Manager, Sicangu Lakota Early Childhood Program. Let's give him a warm welcome, friends and relatives.
Aha, yuha, chokelachshi, yini lachche, dayan wa chinka pelo. Na leon betu wa washde, kashilaki lena, ake wichoni ki leon kupicha wopila kanka hecha. Leon betu wa ake wakana, taku wa otebla waglakinkte. Na heche, michachaje ki ehani, heche, Henry Quickbear Senior mochapelo. Na lakomi chaje michaki, he khatkanka ska hokshila. O he lako chajaki. Mahokshi lahan hena makupelo. Et Hunkashi lawan, Earl Swift talk ichapi. Na unchiwa Edna Swift talk ichap. Hena imachakap. Ichachmab. Ya machika lahan, Mahokshi lahan. Cha hena ikcha utebla waglakinkte. Na ele hi hani najinki woyahoni khunka echa. Good morning, relatives. My name is Henry Quickbear Sr. Um, what I said in Lakota was, I greet everyone. Yuhat chante na pe chuzapi. I shake your hand from my heart. Some of the things that I'd like to talk about this morning, I'm going to add a couple songs to it. Songs with meanings. I was very fortunate to be raised by grandparents, Earl and Edna Swiftalk, back in Rosewood, Spring Creek area. I want to talk a little bit about my journey to where I am now and what I do for a living. When I was younger, just a baby, my grandpa, who was a respectable medicine man or spiritual leader, I was sick, and in one of those things, in our protocols, we shouldn't doctor a relative because it can go the other way. But when I was a baby, my grandpa loved me so much, he took it upon himself to give me a doctoring through a ceremony. And in that ceremony, they found what was wrong with me. And in that same ceremony, they gave me the Lakota name, which I just said, Khatkanka Ska Hokshila. White Buffalo Boy is the Lakota name I was given in that ceremony that night. And everyone inside the ceremony, all the elders who are gone today, were inside there, and they had given me a doctrine, give me another second chance at life. And from that moment on, my grandpa, his spirit helpers, had chosen me to take on a path that he was walking. And my grandfather passed away in 2003. July 15, 2003 is when he passed. So, in my journey, growing up, after the ceremony, maybe a couple months later, I was told, my grandpa approached my mother, and he told her, I'm going to take him in, raise him. So since I was a baby, I was raised by Grandpa Earl and Grandma Edna. So I grew up with the ways, the cultural ways, the spiritual ways. I seen a lot of wakan, a lot of holy things growing up. The sun dances, the inipis, the ceremonies, humblechas. I've seen a lot of that growing up. And I'm very thankful to Grandpa and Grandma. And I'm going to sing them a song. I'm going to sing their song because I always really thankful for them and bringing me up from childhood. My life could have been a little bit different. But because of them and the spiritual, sacred ways, I am standing here with you guys today. So I'm going to share a song with you, and I'm gonna give you a meaning of what the song means. Ampetuke tokahei o mawani elo hai ampetuke tokahei o mawani elo Chayati we let me eloyo hai oi ha hepeke choka hey ai o mawani elo hai ha hepeke choka hey I o mawani yeloi cheta o chancho le mi eloyo hai oi. Now the song means a lot because Grandma passed away in 1995 and Grandpa was alone. So the song came through ceremony for Grandpa, for Grandma Earl, Grandma Edna, and that's the first verse of the song. Her Lakota named Cha'ia Tiwi. And we were told when we sing the song, she would watch over us in spirit. So I always feel safe. And also the second verse to that was, I put that in through ceremony when Grandpa Earl passed away. And that there is to comfort me and comfort the people because Grandpa and Grandma are watching over us. Now, growing up, like I said, I've heard a lot of stories. I've seen a lot of sacred things, the Black Hills, all the sacred sites. Grandpa used to talk about all of this. And he used to talk about our 7 sacred ceremonies. And there's a lot of times where we sit by his sweat lodge, the sweat fire, and tell me stories. So like I said earlier, I'm very fortunate to be raised by my grandpa and my grandma, my grandparents. All the way up to high school, 13, 14 years old. I was curious. I moved back in with my parents. But I haven't forgotten this way of life. Growing up, going to high school, I encountered cultural shame because you had friends who didn't believe in the way I did, who didn't smudge like I did, who didn't pray like I did. So I had to overcome that through high school. And I still attended the ceremonies for Grandpa and stuff, still helped him. And one of the main things that growing up, being raised by grandparents, was learning the Lakota language. Lakota language is said to be an ancient language. So I am a fluent Lakota language speaker as well. And growing up, I communicated with the elders a lot. But like I said, through high school, going through that cultural shame, I act like I didn't know any Lakota language, so I took a Lakota language class in high school. But I passed it every time. I had an advantage. But, I had a good life. And every time I sat in a sweat lodge with Grandpa Earl and Grandma Edna, I would pray. When it was my turn to pray, I'd pray in our language. And every time Grandpa and Grandma would talk about the doctoring ceremony and what I was supposed to do growing up. So when I graduated high school, I went to go see Grandpa. I visited with him. I think I'm ready, Grandpa. I'm ready to take the next life. And he just laughed at me. Okache, nahakshike, nahakshini techa, nahakshi vichonike le yaha walakingte, vichonike le taka ota, opta ilalingte, taka ota shicha yankinkte, na opta ilalingte, vichonike le yaha maniki, na lena taka shicheki, opta ilaleki, ho hewana. Oyate ki wachina peki, hoheche, henaya kakni gingte. Chawichoni ki le chokea yuhamani o eke. What Grandpa said was, no, you're not ready. You still have a life to live. There's going to be a lot of bad things on your walk of life. You have to go through those. So that way, when you are ready as a man, you can better understand the people you're going to help. So you won't judge them, you'll help them. So, to this day, about 12 years ago, when I stood on the Humblecha, I realized what he was talking about. And I did live my life through what he said. I went through the alcohol, the drugs, everything that can be negative. I went through it, hit rock bottom. And now I can understand what Grandpa meant when I was 18 years old. So through my lifetime, I wasn't that crazy, but I did live a life, like Grandpa said. And I sobered up. I didn't do drugs and alcohol for 4 years. 4 or 5 years. I completely quit because I know I needed to do something. Grandpa was gone. So I sundanced again, 4 years. Sobriety, 4 years. And I took my place on that Humblecha hill. 4 nights. Every teaching that I know today came to me in those 4 nights. And then 4 years after 4 nights, I Humblecha. And I did what I needed to do. And so I'm here today, standing here, in a humble way. And when I Humblecha, there was a song that was given to me by one of my lekshis. The song goes like this. Tonka shilai heya hey tuwa yo yo hai tonka shilai wa ma yanka yo hai tonka ska hokshilai let me eloyo hai daku wakayai na me chit yo hai tonka shelai on she malanai o ma kia yo hai oi. That song had a good meaning for me. And my uncle, my lekshi, he made the song and he gave it to me when I came down to do my first ceremony. And he said, carry this song with you. Teach it to your singers so they can sing it for you all the time. So that's a little bit of my life to now. And what I do now for a living is I teach the Lakota language at a project called Lakolia Waonia, breathing life back into Lakota language. It's a project. It's a 3-year project privately funded project. Before that, I was the cultural manager at the WILD12 Tribal Head Start program. So I believe I'm giving back to the people through Lakota language, through cultural teachings, through spiritual teachings and practices. To this day, in 3 years, this is our last year of our project. And I don't know what the future of Lakota is, but I'm hoping they find more funding so we can do what we're doing back home. This day, we produced 6 Lakota language conversational speakers, 6 relatives who are becoming teachers of their own to give back to the people. At the time, it was the first Lakota language adult immersion school. And what the project did is the project paid these learners, these tribal members, to learn their language and their culture. So it was a full-time job. All they had to do was come in. And we had 4 hours of Lakota language teaching, 2 hours of cultural teachings. Our first day of work, we started here at Welcome Back to Thunder ceremony. We had Inipi that evening, and that's how we started our project. It took 6 months for them to become conversational speakers. So after a year and a half, I didn't know what to teach them anymore because they were teaching themselves and they were curious. So Lakota project is where I work now as a teacher, and I was just now promoted to director of that project. So right now, Lakota is revitalizing our language back home. And when we did the sweat for that, when we did the sweat for that, first night, a song came to us. And that song we use for our project here. The song is about Lakota. Lakota wana yanke chaya Sicangu oyateki Lakota ya piktelo hai Lakota ya piki onglukini piktelo hai tronca shela o onki apoyo hai. That's the Lakota song. It's just saying that the project is running now. Our Sicangu Yate are going to be speaking Lakota. We're going to revitalize our Lakota language. Tunkashila, please help us. That's what the words of the song means. But it's a big honor to be here today in front of all of you and to share a little bit of insight and a little bit about me. You know, in taking this walk of life, you know, I am drug and alcohol free, sobriety for a lot of years. I have 3 children, actually 5 children. And my 3 children, you know, I watched them through high school. So with that, you know, I want to say thank you for everything. And I want to say that thank WILD12 organization. You know, as a Lakota man, I'm trying my best to give back to the people in a good sobriety way. To live and continue what Grandpa Earl taught me, to keep things traditional, to keep them Lakota. Every ceremony, every sweat, when I speak, I always stay in the language. I have not one go washichu because it doesn't feel right. Lakota language was the language of our people. Lakota language was the language of our spirit helpers. So to honor them, to have respect for them, I stay in the language through my ceremonies. Yuha wopla kanka chichapelo. Petu washte yahapo. Wopla echalo.